In honor of Women's Month, I thought I would relate a story of one of the ladies who has mentored me for most of my life, my wonderful mother-in-law. I was blessed to have a very lovely mother-in-law, and she's been a role model to me for most of my life. Now, it all goes back to an incident that happened when I was just newly married, and I had gone to visit my in-laws in Guyana, South America. I was born in Pakistan. My in-laws are from Guyana, South America. Now, I went there, probably I was about 19 years old or maybe 20 or something like that, but I was very young. I got married very young. And here I was coming from Canada, a first world country, to a third world country, which is Guyana. And I went with all the arrogance of a first worlder, okay? I mean, I looked at the living conditions. I looked at the people and everything, and I didn't see the charm. I actually just saw that they were not as well off as I was used to, kind of thing. And in my in-laws' house, like because they lived in the countryside, you would sometimes see little frogs on the walls. They were so cute. They were like little suction cups. And in the washroom, sometimes there would be lizards hanging from up above and everything like that. So I went with a very arrogant attitude. Now, after about 2 weeks, I was missing Canada. I was missing home and everything. And I was sitting on the porch in the veranda with my youngest brother-in-law, and I was telling him about Canada. And the way the porch was, on the other side, there was a bunch of windows to the front room, like the big parlor. And there were curtains there, and the windows were open. Anybody could have been sitting there. I didn't see them. So I was talking to my brother-in-law, and I was sitting on the veranda. I was telling him how great Canada was. And I said, oh, the people are so amazing, too. They're very, very smart. And he said, oh, they are. And I said, yeah, yeah, they're very smart. And then something compelled me, I don't know what, something compelled me to say, and I'm very smart, too. And he said, you are? And I said, yeah, yeah, I'm very smart. And like my brother-in-law was only about 8 or 9 years old. So I'm telling him, I'm so smart, I'm so smart. And then I said, probably the dumbest thing I've ever said in my life. I said, I am smarter than everybody in this house. And right then, my father-in-law, who had been sitting in the front parlor listening to the whole conversation, unbeknownst to me, he says, Fiat, get in here. And he told his my brother-in-law, his name was Fiat, he said, get in here. And right then I realized he had heard the whole conversation. And he had heard the dumbest thing I've ever said. And I thought, oh no, I am here as a guest with my in-laws, and I just put my foot in my mouth. And what I was expecting him, my father-in-law, to start yelling at me and berating me, and I was completely prepared for it. I thought, okay, I deserve it. I'm waiting for him to take me to task for the dumb thing I said. Didn't happen. Well, of course it didn't, because I was their guest. They're not going to berate me. And they didn't do that. And my mother-in-law, from the next day, I could tell she knew what I had said. My father-in-law had told her. And because she was a little bit cooler towards me. And I felt so bad. I felt so bad. And I thought, okay, she's going to yell at me. And then after she yells at me, I'll apologize. And then we'll go back to being normal. Inshallah, we'll go back to being normal. Well, she didn't say anything. And in a few days, I had to go back home. Nothing had happened. I felt the worst I'd ever felt. I felt, and especially because they were gracious about it. They didn't take me to task for the stupid thing I had said. So it came the moment for me to go back home, and they carried me to the airport, and I was getting ready to go back home, and I couldn't stand it any longer. In the airport right there, I started crying, and I apologized. I apologized to my father-in-law, and I apologized to my mother-in-law for saying such a horrible thing. And you know what? They accepted my apology. And after that, they never ever threw it in my face. And I thought, wow, these people are more civilized than I ever thought they would be. That moment of graciousness is something that I've always been trying to pay forward. What it did was it inspired me when I'm dealing with other people, especially people who might be coming from an ignorant background or an arrogant background. to try to be gracious, to try to be, um, don't jump on something they've done, and try to be a little bit charitable towards them. And it's all because of my mother-in-law. So when you have a mentor, especially a woman in your life that you admire, the best way to honor them is to emulate them, to try to be like them. I mean, like this kind of um, trying to be good like other people is only going to make society better. And that's what we need to do more of. We need to look at the mentors in our lives. We can learn from people all in every aspect of our life. There's got to be someone in your life, especially some woman, who carries on, who works diligently and beautifully towards the betterment of the people around her. And find that kind of person, emulate them, and honor them by emulating them and trying to pay it forward. That's my message on this Women's Month. Thank you.